when you try to remove it, there's going to be some kind of tension, and you're not trying to do this inside of you, okay? Like this hood, where you could try to be forcing something like this up. So the first thing you really need to do is find out where your vagina is, and the best way to do that is with a finger. I know. Hello guys, welcome to this video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Moyo and you're so welcome to She Bites. I make videos all about food, faith and lifestyle, and I'm sure I have a lot of videos for you to check out if you have not already. Today I'm going to be talking about period products. If you follow me on Instagram, you see that I've been talking a lot about menstrual cups of late. So if you want to hear more about all of this, stay tuned. So the reason why I have become really passionate about period products and menstrual health is because recently I tried something called a menstrual cup. If you don't know what a menstrual cup is, this is what it looks like. This is a small size cylinder menstrual cup, which basically is an alternative for traditional period products like pads, both reusable and disposable pads, and tampons. So let me just give you a brief overview into the reason why I decided to go the cup way. Basically, since I don't know why I have this size of pad in my house, like it's so huge. It's like, it looks like one of those post-pregnancy, maybe it's not as big, but it's quite huge. So basically I used pads all my life, basically for the past how many years, like 10 years of my life. I had no problem with them. They were super comfortable. I'm a swimmer, but I just generally did not used to swim whenever I was on my period. I never tried tampons until like last month, May 2020. So I've always just used pads and never really ventured anywhere else, because for me it was kind of like, what is the point? I use pads, they're comfortable for me, I don't need to try anything else. It's fine. But recently I think my desire to like be more environmentally friendly, support the environment, has made me try other options. So I think everyone knows what a pad looks like. I also made a video about incontinence and how I had incontinence for a period of my life. I think I'm much better now, if you wanted to know. But because of my incontinence, I used to use these really small pads. So I still have like these kind of panty liners that I kind of used to use on a daily basis. Now I use them a lot less than before. What I use them for now is I just use them as a safety net for my menstrual cup when I'm sleeping. Apart from that, I hardly use these anymore. And then we have tampons. I think for a lot of girls who grew up wearing pads, there's a lot of fear around tampons. You think if you use tampons, you don't know, you might break your hymen, you might lose your virginity. What is a tampon anyways? Why would anyone use that? If you want to swim, but hey, I'm not a professional swimmer, but why would I use tampons? Let me just show you what a tampon looks like, because for many years I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know how it would get in there, and I think that was my greatest misconception to start with. When you open a tampon that has an inserter, this is what it looks like. Some tampons come without inserters, but this tampon has an inserter. When I first opened it, I was so surprised. I was like, what? Like, it comes with it comes with a mechanism for you to get it in there. So basically what you do is you insert this as it is into your vagina up to about this part, and then you basically push this in so that it goes in all the way. You have this little string. Basically you have this little string that hangs like down outside of your vagina, so that when your tampon is like full, you can pull it out. I always just used to leave this hanging. I think I only used tampons for about 2 days before I started with my menstrual cup. I just wanted to use the tampon to basically have something smaller in there first of all before I went all the way. I like tampons because of the inserter, so I think it is really nice the way the inserter works. It enters a lot easier than with the menstrual cup. However, tampons and pads are drying. Whenever you read the back of a tampon, it always says that tampons can cause toxic shock syndrome. This phrase is difficult to pronounce, okay? Toxic shock syndrome is something that they should have warned you about when you were first starting your period, which is something that can happen due to staphylococcus bacteria that's usually present in the vagina. What happens when you insert something like this into your vagina is that the staphylococcus bacteria can multiply to a point where it's actually really dangerous for your health, and it can lead to lots of health problems, Basically, you fall really ill at that point in time. You can faint, you can start wheezing, your temperature can go high, and that is basically due to the presence of that extra bacteria that's kind of stuck in there due to the tampon. I didn't have any problems with my tampon, but I only used it with a tampon. I didn't use the same tampon, okay? With a tampon, but I only used it for about 2 days. But I think that the process of trying a tampon, which was suggested by my friend Medusa, I love you, really helped me at first to get over the fear of getting a menstrual cup in there. So why would you choose a menstrual cup over the more traditional period products that we have here? And that is basically because of the vagina flora. If you're someone who knows anything about bacteria, you know about, like, I think it's flora and fauna that we used to learn in biology. Basically, when you use things like pads and tampons, they cause a drying effect, and they also change the bacterial environment of your vagina because you're inserting things that have different kind of chemical balance. Also with the things of like perfumes and other things that they put on pads to like reduce the smell and stuff like that, they work to reduce the smell, but they kind of throw off the balance of what's going on in there. When you use something like this, which basically is made of silicone, there is little basically that happens. All that happens is as you insert this, your vagina makes room for it, it stays in there. It's not absorbing anything, it is not taking anything away. All it is doing is, it's basically acting like a cup. It's holding the blood until it's time for you to remove it, and then you pour it into the toilet and flush it down. Basically what this means is that there's no other kind of medium or substance that your blood has to go into. It just basically is collected here, you pour it out, you wash this, and then you continue once again. One of the greatest fears I've heard from people about trying a menstrual cup is insertion. Everyone is super afraid of insertion, and trust me, I was. It took me 3 months. 3 months. You know, the first thing I learned is that if you have never tried a menstrual cup, if you're a virgin, if any of these kind of things, you really don't know where your vagina is. There's a lot of stuff going on down there. There's more than one hole where something like this where you could try to be forcing something like this up. So the first thing you really need to do is find out where your vagina is, and the best way to do that is with a finger. I know that was my first and greatest hesitant. I was like, there's no way I'm facing a finger up there, and if truly there's no way I'm facing a finger up there, there's no way I'm facing a cup up there either. It sounds really weird and really odd, but it's something that has to be done, because if you can fit a finger up there, then you understand the way that your vagina is, you understand the way that your cervix sits. The issues that lots of people have in menstrual cups is that if you have a really low cervix, then your menstrual cup is probably going to be uncomfortable, because what you want to do is fit it beneath your cervix. It forms like a suction. Basically, let's imagine that this is the vagina, your cervix is up here, you push this, you fold it first of all, you push it in, and it sits below your cervix. You don't want it touching your cervix, you want it below your cervix. If you have a really low cervix and it touches your cervix, I've heard of people who have immense pain because of that, and in that case a menstrual cup is not for you. If you want to be more sustainable, you can also try reusable pads or period underwear. But for most people, to understand the way that your vagina is, because your vagina is not straight, it is slanted and it's probably pointed towards the back slightly. It is not straight. If you're trying to insert this thing straight, you're just going to feel pain, and it's not going to be able to go up in there. So that's another thing. You're not supposed to feel any kind of immense uncomfortable pain. You might feel a bit of discomfort as it's sliding in, but you're not supposed to feel like pain, like, ow, this hurts. You're not supposed to feel that. So if you feel that you're doing something wrong, you should take it out and try again. However, one thing I've realized is that, let's say you've gotten like this far in, you have just this much left to go in to the place that you want it to be, and you have this much in, and you're feeling a bit of pain. Probably that is just the discomfort that comes with inserting a menstrual cup. For me, the most difficult part to insert was this bottom part here. The top part went in quite easily, but the bottom part was quite painful. When it comes to insertion, as you probably seen on my Instagram story, if you're following me there, if you're not, what are you waiting for? Follow me at Moyosore and at Shebites channel. But there's many ways to insert, and I'm going to show you the 3 most common ways. The first is the C-fold. This is what the C-fold looks like. You basically just fold it in half, and then you insert it. As you can see, this has a really wide insertion area. Although it is like the most recommended one, it is kind of difficult to get in there if this is your first time. The next one is the push down method, I think it's called. Basically, you push down one side of it, and then you kind of have a much smaller insertion area. This is what I do. This is what has been working for me. This goes in quite easily, and then when it comes to the tip, it's a bit more difficult, but breathe through it. Don't pull it out. Just keep breathing, and then it pops open inside of you. Last of all, there is also the 7 method, which is where you press this down, and then you press it on top of itself to form like a 7, number 7, and then you can also ease this in easily. Once it's in, it pops open. One thing that can make your menstrual cup leak is if it hasn't popped open properly, if it's still folded in one way or the other. And I think the best way for you to check that is, once you've inserted it, you're going to try and push it up and push it down, push it up and pull it down. That will basically ensure that any kind of creases are going to be loosened properly. I don't want to go into too much detail about how to use a menstrual cup. I think I'm going to do a full video about that later with full details. But this is a super easy way to manage your period. If you have, this is a small size, if you have a medium size, I think, and you have like a regular period flow, you're going to be able to keep it in for up to 12 hours. With this one, I was able to keep it in for 4 hours to 5 hours at a stretch on my heaviest day, and on my lightest day I kept it in for the whole day and it wasn't even full. This holds only 21 ml, and it will show you that you actually don't produce as much blood as you think, because what happens in pads is that they absorb the blood on a wide surface area. This basically retains just the blood, and so you know how much you are producing per day, producing as if you're supposed to produce it, how much is being expelled out of you per day. If you have a heavier period, of course there's larger sizes that might be more suitable for you. I think the main thing for the skeptics is, does it leak? Is it going to leak? And how do I get it in and out? Honestly speaking to you, for me, getting it out is more difficult than getting it in because of the suction. When you're removing it, you have to break the suction. So imagine, you know, it's in like this, there's a suction, okay? It has created like an airlock to prevent any blood from pouring out. When you're trying to remove it, there's going to be some kind of tension, and you're not trying to do this inside of you, okay? So the greatest advice I've seen is just pinch the base. If you pinch the base, yes, some blood is going to come spilling out, but you're sitting over the toilet, okay? You pinch the base, and then it's much easier for you to pull it out. Other people also, they try to get their finger along the side, pull it down like that. If you can do that, you're the real MVP, because that was super hard for me. I tried, okay? So basically guys, this was just kind of an introduction into what a menstrual cup is all about and why it could be better for your menstrual health. Quick disclaimer, I'm not saying that you have to switch to a menstrual cup for all your life and never ever look back. You can also use this in partnership with other kind of period products. This is just a more sustainable way. You can use this for like a couple of years. All you have to do after every time you use it is pour out the blood, rinse it, wash it with soap and water, and put it back in. And at the end of every period, what you're going to do is you're going to boil it in, put it in some boiling water for about 2 to 5 minutes, or you can even put it in a microwave in hot water for a couple of minutes until it's nicely sterilized. Then you put it back into your cup, into your bag, until you're ready to use it again. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I'm not trying to say that I have the best solution for menstrual health or menstrual hygiene, but I think this thing I've just stumbled upon is actually a really, really good measure. Thank you to Lena, Mark, to Daniel, and to Medusa for helping me along with this journey, as well as my whole HMC who listened to me, shouted at me, reproved me, and loved me as I kept ranting and ranting and ranting about this whole thing. Thank you to my cousins and to everyone who basically heard my story up to this point. If you need help, do not feel basically feel free to message me privately. I would love to help you source your cup, help you give you advice about how to insert it and how to remove it and everything else in between. I've just used it once guys, but I literally feel like my life is on a different trajectory after trying this menstrual cup, and I know that with time it's just going to get better and better and better, because you know what the Bible says, that the life of the righteous shines brighter and brighter, even unto the brightest day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Make sure you like, comment down below if you have any questions or comments or queries. If you think I'm crazy, leave it in the comment section. Let's discuss. Also share this video with your friends and your families who you think, your friends and your family who you think would enjoy it as well. See you in my next video guys. Thank you. Bye.